only swear politely. Polite swearing only from now on, Zoe and Karen. You two are the worst. They'll hit me later.
You'll enjoy that as well.
Yeah. Just bear with us. Facebook's doing something stupid to me. Ugh, what's going on here?
What you mean? It's being Facebook?
No, normally when I log in, it gives me a choice of all my Facebook pages.
Well, I've actually had to sign in. I've actually emailed you, so ignore my email that I sent to you because I was saying I'm having technical problems.
Oh, we always have problems with people being able to sign in, etc., etc. It's bonkers. It's actually Facebook is now sending me a password
that you don't know.
It's asking me to reset my password, even though there's only me uses my computer.
That's what they said to me before.
It's just bonkers. All right, so now I've got to create a new password for my own.
Is this where we do the slow hand clap? And
yeah, most certainly. Yeah, this is where I wish I was playing a song. But we could all.
Well, what I'll do, I tell you what. While you're doing that, I'll update the folks. You know this because I've sent this to you in written form, so you know what I'm about to say anyway.
Yeah, please carry on, Paul.
I'll update the rest of the folks. Well, I'll do the official good evening and thank you very much for having me, everyone. I'm Paul Bryce, and in the interest of diversity, I think it's a good one because. I'm probably the first, possibly the only blind member of the group. I'm totally blind, and I'm coming to you live from my lounge, which is on the south side of a small city called Hereford, which you may know is famous for its beef and its cider, and many other things besides as well. It's a very picturesque place. My own background is of and my background really is broadcasting. Worked for BBC and commercial radio for 25 years, on and off, mainly off. I also do voice coaching, mentoring, things like that. I also do public speaking. I also work as a disability advocate and awareness consultant. And from very recently, I'm very lucky and proud to be partner of Zoe.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
And she didn't mind me saying, I did check before I came on.
I would say you do need to check things like that.
I had to check these things, you know. So we had a clandestine meeting before we came on tonight, and I said, can I tell them? And she was very good to me and said yes.
Well, congratulations to you both. So you're going to be coming up to Liverpool, obviously. Are we going to be having to pop down to Hereford every so often?
Well, it's a very good question. I'm hoping to come up to Liverpool. We're looking at that. I mean, we haven't actually met each other yet, which is the most bizarre of things.
It happens.
We got ourselves together. But we're hoping, are we not, that once things come.
That's a gummy bear.
Calm down. Well, there's a story behind that too. Once things calm down a little bit in terms of, it's a bit dicey with case numbers. And up in an unfortunate little way. So I'm hopeful. My story is an interesting one. I actually ended up in Hereford because of a woman, funnily enough.
Okay.
Who decided I wasn't worth it come February of this year and kicked me into touch. And through that, Zoe was very kind and supported me through it all.
Oh, well done, Zoe.
And we sort of went from there, did we not? I mean, you can chime in as well because
absolutely, you know, our late night conversations, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
It's really special.
Oh, midnight oil stuff.
Hopefully a few people who join. We've got quite a few people usually watch on Facebook Live, so I don't think we've had a declaration of affection and mutual sharing of joy quite like this in about 6 months we've been doing this. So we've long past. Isn't it nice that it's nowhere near Valentine's Day? It's just
yesterday was my birthday, so I
was it? Oh, congratulations! Oh yes, I wish you happy birthday.
You did wish me. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday!
Thank you very much indeed. All these lovely wishes. I should say I forgot to add for David's particular interest that I am also a folk singer.
Oh, gosh, well, this sounds. And Brian, who's just joined us, is an
And
artist,
he's a very good
poet,
folk singer
a
as
writer,
well.
and a singer. Brian does them all. He's a bit multi-talented on the quiet, is Brian. He's very quiet today.
I don't suppose he knows anything
Wow.
about.
Hello, Brian.
Hello,
Sorry.
Brian.
Hello, Pete. Hello, Tony.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hi, Zoe. Hi, everyone.
Hiya.
So you are awake, Brian. We thought you'd nodded off in the
Oh
corner
no,
there.
I was just intrigued by the conversation,
See,
Tony.
Brian is what's called a night owl. He paints and writes from like midnight till 4 a.m. He's daytime. He just tends to the birds in the garden and and things like that. He doesn't do creativity in daylight. He's a real nice owl, mate, aren't you?
Thank you, Tony.
I think you'll find that most creatives are night owls.
I think they might be. Well, I think a lot of singer-songwriters like David and Andy, who'd normally be with us, thrive on on staying up late. So
It's in those silent hours the creativity can really come out.
Yeah. So Dave
needs
very
6 good
kindly
minutes.
is going to at some point sing a couple of songs for us. I'm just
smashing.
going to start, but one thing I want to do, which we haven't done as much of other weeks, is play some local music to support, local musicians who are, trying their best to get heard, and I think local radio should and could do more. So
Yes.
I was meant to go to a gig on Saturday night. Unfortunately, I had a blinding headache. No way could I have driven, which was a real shame. Because the chap who was the headliner is a guy called John Jenkins, who's a lovely, lovely guy, brilliant singer-songwriter. He's actually released a cover version, though, of a very famous song by Townes Van Zandt called Kathleen. So, guys, have a listen to this. I'd like to know what you think about it. And anyone watching, please also drop us a message in the Facebook chat.
Plain to see, the sun won't shine today. But I ain't in the mood for sunshine anyway. Maybe I'll go insane. Gotta stop the pain. Maybe I'll go down and see Kathleen. The swallow comes and tells me of her dreams. She says she'd like to know just what they mean. I feel like I could die as I watch her flying by. Ride the north wind down to see Kathleen. I could die as I watch her flying by. Ride the north wind down to see Kathleen. The stars hang high above the ocean's roar. moon has come to lead me to her door. There's crystal across the sand. The waves, they take my hand. Soon I'm gonna see my Kathleen. Soon I'm gonna see my Kathleen.
Well, guys, Karen, what did you think?
Thought that was very atmospheric and very really good song. Yeah, I
It's
really
a great,
enjoyed it.
great
Yeah.
song, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
great arrangements. I'm pretty sure it's Amy Chalmers, who's a friend of quite a few people in the local music scene who will have done the string arrangements. So, Zoe, what was your take on that? Did that hit
I
you?
thought it was really powerful, really moving. I really like lyrics, and
Yeah,
they fitted well with music, which sometimes something like you wonder how it's going to gel together, but that was really good.
yeah, really, really good, I thought. And Paul, we'll have to ask you as a someone who does radio and indeed sings.
Yeah, I thought it was, that should be, I want to hear that on my local radio, wherever that goes, because it's,
Well,
it's
I can send you the the WAV file and the MP3
oh,
file.
sure, no, that'll be tremendous, because I think
Yeah.
the fact that it's got a great balance, tune. I've not heard the original, so that for me,
I have a feeling it'd be pretty faithful, to be honest. He's not going to mess too much with something that he knows and loves. He's
Yeah.
going to want to do as good a version as
good solid style, not sort of trying to make himself bigger than the song, which a lot of artists try to do, particularly when it comes to cover versions. But no, I thought he did a great job on it.
Right, David, as a singer-songwriter, we'll have to ask you.
Listening to it, I thought it was a really nice blend of two songs that sound-wise I really like. I was hearing both Chris Rea vibes and also
Yeah.
Dire Straits vibes to a
Yeah,
degree.
Yeah. I got the Chris Rea vibe. Yeah. No, I think
Road to Hell and Brothers in Arms almost
Yes.
merged together into a song.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
no, it's a good spot, that, because I must admit I've played it 3 or 4 times in the last few days, so I really like it. And I kept thinking, you can't help but ever compare songs with other songs. It's a natural thing. And I must admit, I was thinking, because the strings win you over. The string arrangement's superb, isn't it?
That was fantastic. That.
Yeah.
Oh, is that you?
That wasn't me barking then, Tony.
Oh, that's how much you liked it. My
I know.
goodness.
Who let the dog in?
Cameron's
wait.
been attacked by the poodle. No, it's not a poodle.
That was weird, because as I spoke, it come out my mouth, and I thought, was that me?
So, Brian, I'm sure you're going to give that song a thumbs up as well.
Oh, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It's very atmospheric, like the lady said.
Yeah.
But I love the way the violins came in and dropped down. I just love that.
Yeah. So
And it was neither singing or talking. It was like in the middle.
yeah.
It
No,
was
I'm sure
just
I had a
beautiful.
feeling you were going to like that. I mean,
Just loved
you
it.
yeah. Now and again, when you do hear a new song, the odd one just gets you, doesn't it? And you think
Yeah.
that really deserves.
Absolutely.
You could listen to that again and again and again.
Yeah. Well, I've listened to it 3 times today, and I'm
Yeah.
certainly happy to keep listening. Dave, what were you going to say?
I was saying you could almost tell a story with that music playing in the background. And just so atmospheric with that string arrangements and everything. It was just
Yeah, so I think a big 6 out of 6 for John Jenkins and his wonderful
Oh, no,
musicians.
me that's 7 out of 6.
7 out of 6. That's
Oh.
even better.
Oh.
We're liking it. So
8.
8 out of 6. Oh,
I'm going for 10.
wasn't that a Bad Company album? 10
Yes,
from
it
6.
was.
Probably.
Yes, it was.
Go back a bit. So, Karen, we're up there in the quiet corner.
Hello.
So,
Sorry
fill
about
us
that.
in on what you're writing up to at the moment. Are you allowed to tell us? Because you've been through quite a few writers' critique sessions recently, virtual, I would imagine.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're here, fine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry about my dog barking, by the
don't
way.
worry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm writing a saga based in the First World War at the moment,
Oh, great.
and it's going slowly, I would say, but it's going all right.
So did the First World War.
Yeah.
I'm saying so did the First World War.
Yeah. True.
Ah,
Set roughly in the Peak District, Karen, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the
Is
hard
that-
thing. Sorry,
Is-
Paul, go on.
no, I was going to ask, is that where you are, Karen? I know Tony's
I
near
live
Sheffield,
I live in the last village in Sheffield before you get to the Peak District. Yeah,
which is,
Totley.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that part of the world quite well.
Yeah.
Family in Doncaster, which is
All right, I've got family in Doncaster as well.
Ooh,
Oh, there we go.
Isn't it
last
funny how?
been there.
What was that, Dave? Sorry.
It's been a long time since the last been there, probably about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. Well, you've just been off sunning yourself in the Lake District all last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I don't think Sun and the Lake District ever existed in the same
You had a
sentence.
lovely time. I saw photos you posted nearly every day, and you had a superb time, didn't you?
Yeah,
You know, just
certainly
getting out in the fresh air and you know, seeing the hills and the trees, and they're all in full bloom now, aren't they? I mean, you know, everywhere is totally verdant green, isn't it? It's, you know, it is quite breathtaking, really, being outdoors now. You know, I mean, I live in Crosby, Paul. Well, so does
Right.
Zoe, actually. So we've got the famous naked men on our beach. Are you familiar with?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, there's 100 of them. So there's, you know, you can have a socially distant party with them anytime you want.
Oh, I see.
And there are the 100 now. Apparently, a friend of mine was there a few weeks back. Anthony Gormley himself has been there
Oh.
recently. I've
Oh.
narrowly missed meeting him, which I would love to have met him, because the rest of the guys now, I post photos of the statues nearly every day. Not quite, but nearly.
and the
I'd love to
brilliant,
meet
and
him.
the brilliant.
They are getting good.
They
Really
are
are.
really, really good.
really good. I
apparently-
mean, it's a shame you can't use one of them as your backdrop for your green screen. So
Oh,
I
I
mean,
might do one week. Yeah, I might do that one week. Yeah, but apparently 10 of them were so buried they'd technically forgotten where they were. They had to go back to the original you know, like the equivalent to draftsman's things, you know, because he obviously mapped them all out in lines, didn't he? And they were saying, well, we found most of them, but where's numbers 8, 23, whatever? And they had to dig and dig and dig. They had the big excavations on the beach to find the buried men.
so it's almost like an archaeological dig
Yeah,
to
yeah,
find these lost statues.
Yeah, find the lost men. Yeah. I mean, they divide people, don't they? I mean, I really like them, not just because I take photos, but there is something about them that you can go at different times and you totally get a different feel and sense of place. You know, sometimes they feel friendly, and other times they feel quite like scary and ominous. I mean, what's your view on them, Brian, dare we ask?
Oh, I love the. I mean, what you just said then, it just hit the nail on the head. Because sometimes, you know, when the light goes down and all you see is the silhouette of them against the sky when it's going darker and darker and darker.
Yeah.
And you do look quite menacing.
Yeah, we are quite lucky, really, because being
Very.
on the west side, you know, we get the sun setting with them, and some nights the sky is just, you know, anyone would take a good photo. You know, you just stand there and you just stare out and you press your button and you come home and everyone goes, wow, what a brilliant photo. You're thinking, I didn't do anything, I just stood there and pressed a button. You know?
Well, do you know, Turner used to paint there, didn't he?
Really? Oh, didn't
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonder what
and
he'd
used
have
to
made,
be,
wonder what someone like him would have made of the Iron Man.
well, yeah, exactly. But yeah, because I used to go to an art class, which was facing the cinema, the
Oh,
Cosby Cinema. And there used to be the big old houses on the opposite side.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to go all the way up the stairs to like the top rooms. And they were the art studios there then.
Yeah.
That's when I
pretty
was
cool.
first, I first got the information that Turner
That's Betsy. That's Karen's dog, Betsy. Come to say hello. Has
Oh,
Betsy been good
Oh.
today, apart from tripping you up and
Oh.
breaking
She's
your
been
ankle?
really good, yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Karen.
Oh.
First thing Karen said to me on Facebook wasn't "Hello, how are you?" It was "The dog's tripped me up and I've nearly broken my ankle."
I did say that, and I did say hello. How are you? He's telling fibs.
We have to fabricate, otherwise there's no fun in life. David, I'm going to play another local song, but then would you be kind enough to do something of yours for us in about 5-6 minutes? Yeah.
okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm going to find you another song. Now, this is from a lady who has been a guest on the show. A lovely lady. She's a teacher called Alison Benson, and she has actually won the Liverpool Songwriters Challenge 3 years out of 5, which is quite an achievement. David probably knows a little bit about the Liverpool Songwriters Challenge. You set a theme and you've got to write your song quite quickly, David. Is that how you do it?
They've held a couple different themes throughout the year. Two that I can recall is one you just described. Another one, they got involved with Threshold Art Gallery,
That's right.
and they showed a selection of pictures that were currently at the gallery, and the challenge was to write a song based upon one of the pictures that was available, and then you had to basically write the song, submit it before the deadline, but also submit which picture it was
Yeah.
that you were using as inspiration, and then it was judged both publicly and through a panel of judges as well.
Yeah,
I think.
they do. They put like a long YouTube thing you can vote on, can't you? They put like sometimes there's 20 or 30 songs, aren't there? And you can watch all the little video clips and vote for them, which is quite cool, really. But Alison is brilliant. She's mainly a ukulele player. Beautiful voice, beautiful songwriter, and a song of the line.
If I could fly from off this perch, see 100 different worlds, I would return, always return, my love. If I could fly from off this perch, see 100 different worlds, I would return, always return, my love, to you. So high we sit, not face to face, made to the sea, the cities race, sentinels set apart, keeping secrets inside my heart. If I could fly from off this perch, see 100 different worlds, I would return, always return, my love. If I could fly from off this perch, see 100 different worlds, I would return, always return, my love, to you. return, my love. If I could fly from off this perch, see 100 different worlds, I would return, always return, my love, to you. To you.
Beautiful.
Wow.
There we go.
Whoa.
So
Wow.
as a
That
folk
was
singer,
nice.
Paul,
Wow.
since
That
you've
was nice.
I mean, there's a true story behind the Live of Birds, Brian, isn't there?
Go
That
on.
if they are
Oh,
ever seen to leave their
That's right.
perches
Yeah.
on the Liver buildings, although it's not the Liver building, is it? It's the Pier Head building, isn't it?
The Pier Head. Well, the
it,
Live
uh,
building, yeah. It's the Live
It
building.
is Liver buildings. One faces out to sea and is meant to protect Liverpool from whatever the sea brings, and the other one faces inland and therefore
Yeah.
is to protect sea over the hills inland and protect Liverpool from whatever might come from inland.
How
which-
many Live birds are on the Live building?
Well, there's more than two, aren't there? How many are there? I don't know.
Oh, you got it. You
today.
got out of that one.
I
didn't
drove
you?
past it today.
You knew that was coming.
No, I drove past it today. I was outside it in
Yeah.
traffic for about 10
Well,
minutes. I think there's four, but I could see three.
no.
I would say
There's
four.
three. There's reputedly three. There's a
Okay.
smaller one.
Yeah,
on the top
there's
and
one
in
lower
between.
down, isn't there, on a lower
Yeah.
area? I saw it
Yeah.
today. I assumed
Really.
there was one at the other side as well.
Mm.
Yeah. But a friend of mine, Paul McDermott, who some of you may know, he's actually written a book, a children's book based on the story of the Liver Birds, which I don't know if it's still in print, but it was a great little book. So, Paul, you're a folk singer, and do you do your own stuff, or do you just?
No, I borrow everybody else's.
Yeah, no, a lot of people.
I borrow everybody else's. My folk sing there's a story behind it because I have no connection to Ireland whatever, but my leaning tends to be towards the Celtic element of folk music. Not to say that we don't have any good people in England. You've just played one, so that's which was stunning. But I was brought up on the likes of Luke Kelly and Liam Clancy and Tommy Makem and all the names could go on, along the line. So
I mean, a lot of the Scottish and indeed the Irish Celtic stuff is, and Welsh. I've heard quite a few really, really good, Welsh folk singers. A friend of mine, Gary Edward Jones, he and Elizabeth Jones, his wife, are both brilliant singer-songwriters themselves. And they have regular meetings.
oh, he's back. You've missed half a sentence.
Oh, yeah, my internet died. Yeah, it went and came back. But Gary
So
and
start
Elizabeth
again.
live in Ruthin in Wales, and they have quite a strong
I know, Ruthin.
Welsh folk singer circle. They get together and they play in the woods and along the river. So is there anything that you would call your favourite piece, Paul? If you were put on the spot right now and had to sing something, now, what would it be?
Gracious.
Against it. So we're going to do it today for about 2 minutes.
No, I could sing you my favourite song.
Yeah.
And if you'd like me to, I will.
We would
And
love you to. Yeah,
Fine.
absolutely. If you're happy to.
Yeah, and I'll explain.
Got an amazing voice.
I will explain. It's written by a man called Brendan Behan.
Oh yeah, we know Brendan Behan. Yeah.
And he wrote it for a play. And Brendan Behan spent a little time at Her Majesty's or His Majesty's pleasure, as it was in those days. And in those days, they didn't have alarm clocks. But what they did have every morning to wake you up was a piece of metal, which they used to bang. And it was called the Old Triangle, which I'll sing for you now.
Thank you.
A hungry feeling came o'er me stealing, and the mice were squealing in my prison cell. and the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. To begin the morning, a screw was bawling, "Get up, you bowsy, and clean up your cell." And the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. The lag lay sleeping, Humpy Gussie was peeping, as I lay there weeping for my girl Sal. And the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. I wish to Jesus they'd raise me wages, all from 30 shillings up to £2.10. And the old triangle went jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. Up in the female prison, there are 75 women, and among them now I wish I did dwell. Then the old triangle could go jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal, all along the banks of the Royal Canal.
Wow, that was fantastic. Absolutely. Oh, Paul, that was stunning, honestly. There's something about just being, oh, well, Brian can do, I'm sure Dave can as well, actually, but Brian can sing just with his own voice, you know, unaccompanied, a cappella is the posh word, isn't it? But there is something about the ability and the power of the words to come out of
course,
a person.
one of the best of all comes from Liverpool, Hughie Jones.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget about Hughie Jones now. I believe he does his sea shanties going up and down the Mersey.
Yeah.
Was of course a member of this for so many years, but he has a tremendous voice. But that to me is an extraordinary song.
Yeah.
For so many. I mean, I know lots of others, and maybe we'll wheel them out over the coming weeks. But that,
most certainly, this is
my favourite.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, no, this is the thing we want to do. Really, is bring people together through either poetry or writing, stories, songs. Even to some extent art. I mean, although on the radio it's hard to do art on the radio. We could have 6 men staring into a hole trying to describe how deep it is. But Brian, you'll have to think about something to provide for us in a few minutes.
I'll have a think. I mean, you can. Did you ever find any tracks off that CD?
No, because I copied them and lent it to Sally Ann, and I hadn't saved the original.
Have you not got any at all? You could play one.
I'll have a dig. I'll have a dig.
Yeah,
I'll have a dig while Dave's going to do a piece
there.
For us.
Fantastic.
Sorry, Paul. What was that?
I say it's all tuned up there.
He is tuning up. What are you playing down there, David?
Well, I'm a glutton for punishment.
It's your mandolin.
It's a mandolin, yeah. Well,
I was going to say that didn't sound like your trusty acoustic guitar.
No, I mean it's. As I say, I'm probably throwing myself right into the deep end.
Do not worry.
Music.
Do not worry. There's no one watching or listening, so it's just like you're at home practicing on your own.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Just before David tells us what he's going to do, Paul, which obviously he's not sat where he has been sat other weeks, but in his other room, David has a wall, and behind him are envelopes from all around, well, certainly the country, let alone the world. And it's an amazing sight.
Wow.
It took me a few weeks to realise what it was behind him. And
what did you think it was?
Are they letters behind you? And he went, yeah. And sometimes you'll have to postcards and letters. pinned to the wall from everywhere he's been.
Well, it
or
saves
where
on
people
paper,
are.
I suppose. You know, it's a different way of,
Yeah.
of it, like
So,
it.
David, is this an original or of a cover? What are you?
Well, this one is an original, and I'm going to do it a bit differently because, as I say, even though I wrote it with the mandolin, I've not really played mandolin that much or that long, really, in comparison to the guitar. So I'm gonna, as I say, I'm gonna just take it easy to it, you know. For the it's called "Hey There, Mama." Hey there, mama, what did I say to you? Did I break your heart? What did I do? Call you nasty, call you cruel, say you're dumb or just a fool. Oh mama, what did I do? Hey there, mama, what did I do to you? Did I break a promise? What did I do? No message sent, no didn't phone. Leave you waiting all alone. Oh mama, what did I do? You hurt so bad. Every word you take steps through your heart like a wooden stake. Hey there, mama, what can I do for you? I broke your heart. Now what should I do? Hold you close or stay away? Need to know you'll be okay. Oh mama, what do I do? Hey there, mama, I still love you. I've made you sad. I didn't mean to. Want you happy? Want you glad? So sorry for being bad. Oh mama, I still love you.
Right.
Brilliant day.
That's great, mate.
Well, mate.
It sounds excellent with the mandolin, isn't it? Funny how a different instrument
Yeah.
just.
Absolutely.
You've sung that song for us a few weeks ago, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, with the guitar and a lot easier with that.
Yeah, but it works. I think it works with the mandolin. There's something about
That was
the,
stunning.
yeah.
It reminds me of a group called the Happy Cats. They're based up in the northeast of England. I think they work sort of around the sort of Hartlepool area, and they do stuff like that. Very, very 60s, almost Mersey beat style. It was brilliant. It was really well done.
You take that, Dave. I would think, wouldn't you?
I'll take that as a huge compliment. Yeah.
Knowsley's the next bit in from Liverpool. It's when we hit the countryside and pretend we're posh. It's where people from Liverpool go for their day out, isn't it?
I used to go drinking with the Mersey Beats, one of his roadies. Used to go on a pub crawl in town every weekend.
That's a name drop for you.
Isn't it
Right.
just?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, Zoe, we're going to have to put you on the spot now. Have you got anything poetry-wise that you've written?
Yeah.
Written loads of poems.
Oh, I know, but you've got to. It's
I get them every
day.
day, so
It's finding one
lucky
you're
fella.
happy to perform, isn't it? That's the thing.
Right. No, I've not long done this one, so It
Okay.
hasn't got a title or anything. If you can come up with one, feel free.
Okay.
Flagstones crack, decay, rot. Yet still silence raged on. To echoes of the past beats as it was viewed stars in the moon, the day of threatening, the day of judgment, of the lies of rotten truths, of bile forming, of the hissing snake, the apple is true safe to eat. Yet first bite, set the world spinning, ripping apart the good, seeping into the bad, of a hand washed with the blood of dew. No world dived with peace, thrives will peace ever be a word? Will it truly be?
Oh,
Very nice.
Good.
Very
excellent.
good.
That's good.
Very
yeah.
good.
And I'm biased, but no, it was good.
It's hard when someone's just sung a song, isn't it? To follow
Just
up
go
with.
straight into it. So, well, no, that is quite a hard one, but no, very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
I'm impressed. I feel guilty now because I've not prepared anything other than being here, but never mind.
Well, that's all right. You're the main man. You don't have to
Well,
always.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you,
that's
thank you,
amazing.
Paul.
You can still learn.
We like you more already. So I'm gonna play another local track. Well, Brian, I think I can find a couple of yours actually.
Oh, well, yeah. See if you can get
night
and day. Have you
just
got
as we were coming on air, I was playing a track from a wonderful new CD or download, as they're called these days, by a Liverpool band called Shadow Captain. It's an album called April Moon, and Stuart Todd, who is the main singer-songwriter, is a great lyricist. In fact, his dad is a brilliant poet, actually. Small world syndrome. When I used to run my bookshop in Formby, I'd often have poets and authors come and visit, and we'd do evenings with, and it was always great. And Stuart's dad, Phil, did an evening of poetry for me one time, and it was brilliant. We had a great time. And we got to know Stuart, and you know the way you don't realise that someone could be related to someone else you know. Got the same surname, obviously. So I chat to Stuart sometimes saying, you write lovely lyrics, a bit like poetry, really. He goes, funny you say that, my dad's a poet. I went, he's not called Phil, is he? And he went, yeah. Small world. But this is the lead song off their new album. You heard a bit of it when you were signing in. I think it deserves a full listen. It's called Lavender Way, and please enjoy.
Oh, we did. Till it dropped out. That was good. Enjoyed that one. That was good. Couple of pennies for the slot, anyone?
Tony, it's gone quiet.
It's gone, mate. Mayday, mayday. Oh, he really has gone, hasn't he?
He's not frozen, though. His screen's not frozen, so it's not his internet.
Ooh.
Always blames the neighbors getting them down on Lavender Way. I hear the same old song from Lavender Way. There's always something wrong. I'm leaving the fray of Lavender Way. It's good to be back home. What more can I say? I'd rather be on my own than wasting the day on Lavender Way. The bridge tea, sympathy, when you recall memory, always feeling life is wearing him down. Wallows in his misery without a sense of dignity, always blames the neighbors getting him down on Lavender Way. tea, sympathy. When he recalls a memory, always feeling life is wearing him down. Wallows in his misery, without a sense of dignity. Always blames the neighbors getting him down. On Lavender Way, on Lavender Way.
Wow.
Quite
Wow.
60s, isn't
Wow.
it? Isn't
That
that
is
great?
stunning.
Isn't
That
that,
is stunning.
Dave, have you heard it before? Because you might be
No.
first, Stu.
First time I've heard that.
It's class,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yes.
It's stunning.
Love
It
it.
is really good, isn't it? I mean, there's some clever arrangements in the background of it. But yeah, April Moon is the album. Shadow Captain is the band, and I can assure you, every track is as good as that.
Wow.
So you know, you all need to be, you know, whatever you choose to listen to your music, go and track down Shadow Captain and have a good old listen, because you're not going to get better than that for an hour, are you? You know, we could just really play the album and all just nod along. I used to, when I used to do, I've done various radio stations, and a few years ago I used to do one that was broadcasting on FM, you know, like real radio as we'd call it. In fact, Brian was on a couple of times with me for HCR in Runcorn and Witness.
Yeah, brilliant.
And
Brilliant.
it was great. It was great. I mean, we had all of like 78 real listeners, but you know, they were lovely people. No, we averaged about 150 real listeners plus the internet. But the guy who was on after me on one of the shows I did was into like prog music, and he'd play the whole side of an album.
Wow.
Ooh,
you
well,
look
that
at
would
some-
depend on how long the song was. I mean,
Well, 12, 15-minute songs. Yeah.
If you have a look at,
He didn't do what some people do: go to the toilet, make a cup of tea, go and get a can of Coke, or you know, or anything else to drink, or smoke or anything. He'd sit there like Paul's got headphones on to listen, and so's Brian. He'd sit there in the studio with his proper studio headphones on and just float away on the music he was playing. And he played it all on vinyl, Paul, as well. He didn't play any.
there's a fabulous group from Wigan, if I may bring an
Yeah,
outsider.
please do.
And the name's just gone out of my head, and I play this song to death. The song itself is called "We Need Each Other Now," and it's very, very almost Billy Bragg style.
Oh, we like Billy Bragg.
Dave, help me out here. You must know this group. The guy who sings as the lead singer has a real sort of Wiganese type accent as well, and it works, which it gives it a novelty. It's called "We Need Each Other Now," and so if someone tells me the name, I will know it.
We will have a quick We'll have a quick Google in a minute if Dave doesn't know it. It's the problem when you put on the spot, isn't it? Sometimes you can come up with the answers, and other times you know your brain just tends to mush.
And it's
basically.
bugging the life out of me at the minute. So
Yeah. What was
if
it
I go
called
vacant,
again? What was it called again?
It's called "We Need Each Other Now."
We need each other now.
is that by John Kettle? Is it?
That he wrote it.
Yeah, Merry Hell.
That's the one. You've just nailed it.
Ah, yeah.
Merry Hell. They're a fabulous group, and that
Well,
song.
hold on then, Paul. We can, if this works, we can do this. Hold on. This is where technology can
Yeah,
be a
you'll
wonderful
love
thing.
this.
If
You really will like this,
if I can do this,
Just a suggestion, but it's a great song. Very progressive folk rock.
oh, hold on. It's doing the usual thing of making me want to sign into things. Oh, do you know, honestly, technology.
It likes to wants to know everything about you.
Yes.
Doesn't it just, yeah. I have got an Apple Seed thingy. Honestly, I've just been playing on iTunes. Honestly. They
Merry Hell.
jump you through hoops, don't they? Oh,
I couldn't
right.
remember.
I now need another code just to play a song. How wonderfully silly is this? 6. Okay. I'm glad we're only live.
Yes. The problem is you can't edit.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? Oh dear.
But it's fun, Tony, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is.
We don't mind.
No, it's the poor people who watch us on Facebook, like your daughter Francesca and some of my
Oh,
friends.
she'll be sitting in her craft room.
Will
That's
she
what
now?
she'll be doing. Yeah, listening.
Yeah,
You did say craft there, didn't you? I just was checking.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Just while I'm messing around, you tell us what Francesca does, please.
Oh, my daughter, Francesca. She just started a little business of her own. She's been to university. She graduated in business studies, but she's very, very creative. And so she decided to start making her own little artisan cards, birthday cards, engagement cards, wedding, anything for any occasion. Little example, this is one that she did for me for Father's Day last week.
Oh,
I'm-
really good.
And
Oh,
she-
yeah.
Oh yeah, she
She
is.
personalizes. If there's any little sayings that you've got that only you have for your loved
Yeah,
ones,
Yeah,
I
little
like
nickname, anything, she will personalize the card that
like
you
that.
won't be able to buy in the shops. You see,
No, I
It's
like that.
just special thing, and that's a simple one, just a very simple one.
Aw.
You know,
yeah.
That's
Well,
brilliant.
also a
But
lot of
it's just
schools
simple.
after the year children have had and teachers have had in schools. A lot
that's
of
what she's
schools are
doing as
breaking
well.
up
Teacher
in,
cards.
next couple of weeks. So everybody should be ordering a thank you, miss, or thank you, sir, whatever the name of your teacher is. And the
Yeah.
school secretary, and the dinner lady, and the caretaker, even the headmaster or headmistress. Some of them will have been through a lot in the last year. And if a child comes into school on the next to last day or the last day, and goes, sir, miss, I've got you something, something I've made or
Yeah.
a lovely card.
That's great.
Got to be the thing to do. Anyway, I think we're there now. Let's have a little bit of we need each other now.
You certainly do, Tony.
I know.
Mhm.
Brian. Honestly. Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Oh, we nearly had it.
We nearly have it.
Nearly had it.
Is it coming?
And though we stumble from the edge, our bottle gone, we drank the dregs. Our fingers still cling to the ledge. We need each other now. As borders crumble, land and sea, bored with ideology, the skinhead and the refugee, you need each other now. Rise up, you hopeful men and women who might try again. And with one voice, your message send. We need each other now. We turn away and turn about. Everywhere mistrust and doubt. And one by one, our lights go out. We need each other now. And while we sit upon the fence, in harmony and dissonance, the bells toll out intolerance. We need each other now. Rise up, you hopeful men and women who might try again. And with one voice, your message send. We need each other now. Yeah, we need each other now. And as I I watch the setting sun. I'm slow to stand and quick to run. When my brother asks whose side I'm on, we need each other now. Rise up, you hopeful men and women who might try again. And with one voice our message send, we need each other now. Rise up, you hopeful men and women who might try again. And with one voice our message send, we need each other now. Yeah, we need each other now. We need each other now.
Wow, rather like that, Paul.
Wow.
Yeah, thought
That's a
you'd like
cracker,
that.
isn't it? I think
It's a
Dave's
brilliant
been
song.
That was
Dave's been
great.
taking notes there on chord structures and things. I'm sure.
Did you? Yeah. Well, you can actually get the arrangement. Did you notice what I meant about the accent?
Yes,
He's
yeah.
Very.
That's
Which
like
I love.
Ewan McCall was very much like that, one of the forefathers of British.
Well, he
folk,
was,
wasn't
but the funny thing was, everybody thought he was from. He was just Scottish. He wasn't. He was born in Salford,
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
which amused me.
yeah.
I don't know
made
many
that
people from
mistake talking
Salford.
about him the other week. Last week or the week before, Andy had to correct me, didn't he? Actually, Dave, if you remember.
Yeah.
And
The problem is though that music sound often gets stereotyped to certain areas just by hearing them. They just assumptions made, like, oh, that sounds Irish or that sounds Scottish or.
Yeah.
Well, everybody thinks the song "Will You Go, Lassie, Go."
Oh, damn.
Everybody thinks it's, which I'm sure you all know, it's a Scottish song. It is not a Scottish song. It was actually written in Belfast.
Oh, right. There's a bit of a
it was,
difference, yeah.
But the words were Scottish because it was taken from a Burns poem.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a song everybody knows anyway that deals in the folk tradition. It's been sung for years. But it was written by Francis McPeak, one of the McPeak family from Belfast. One of them, I think he was the first Francis McPeak. They're on about 6, I think, these days. Of all of that, but that's where that song came from.
It's definitely a good encore song at a concert, though.
That one is which one?
That one with Tony's just played. We need
Yeah.
each
Oh,
other
well,
now.
my word. Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
you've got the bit where everyone can join in, and
Yeah.
in the last near the end, haven't you? Yeah. Anyway, Karen. So hopefully you're enjoying what you're hearing tonight. So do feel free to say so.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Very
I hope you've
rousing
been,
song.
tapping along up there in in the background.
Oh yes, I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
While we're talking, I'm just scrolling back to a link that Brian sent me of Brian's released a CD of covers of really well-known soul and Brian, you tell us what your CD is while I'm finding the tracks, because I'm just having a slow scroll while we're talking. So please tell us,
He's-
Mr. Smooth, I believe
He's
it's
gone,
called.
I think.
Has he?
He wanted Night and Day though, Tony.
He
No,
did say
I know.
that.
Yeah,
He did
I'm
say
having
that,
a
didn't
problem scrolling back to the attachments he sent me. For some reason, my Facebook is on a total go slow. He sent me 3 of the tracks by Messenger on Facebook, and I can play them from there, but they were a while ago, so I'm having to scroll back through messages that he sent me to get to them while we're talking, which is, as usual, makes for great live radio. But never mind.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing like dead air and filling time on live
I
radio.
Yeah,
think we're all
oh, yeah.
fighting back.
So, how many shows do you do, Paul? What's your running schedule?
Well, in terms of my work is very much behind the scenes. I work mainly in production these days. I occasionally help out where I'm needed. I work occasionally for a radio station in Harrogate in North Yorkshire. Done some work with them. I also do a little bit of work with a freelance producer who's based somewhere in Lancashire. He never tells me where he is.
Really?
A man called Richard Smith, who's based up in I think Pendle, somewhere like that. And he puts all sorts of programs together which can be heard on various stations in and around, certainly in the Merseyside area. He does a lot for Radio Broad Green and various hospital stations. You mentioned Halton before.
Yeah, well, Halton, HCR, Halton Community Radio was the one I did show.
Well, he does some work with the actual hospital station for the hospital itself.
I mean, hospital radio is a wonderful thing. I mean, Andy did hospital radio for a few years, Dave, didn't he, at Newsham?
That's still going.
I believe so. But one thing which I'll actually tell a story is one time he actually went into the hospital with a bunch of other musicians. I think I was there too, and just started playing music to the kids in Alder Hey, and it was just completely unscripted, completely off the fly, and everyone loved it. You know, it was just a really uplifting thing to see.
Yeah, no, that's tremendous when you can.
Yeah, there is something about that type of contact that a live artist can make with an audience, isn't there?
It was just great seeing the kids' looks on the kids' faces, like, what's that? You know,
what's making
that sound? You know.
Yeah. Right, Brian, just please, while I'm just scrolling down, I found a track. I genuinely don't know which one it is, so apologies if it's not the one you were thinking of.
Oh, okay.
So do tell us how you came to record a CD back in 2020 when everyone else was locked up in their bedrooms on their own.
Well, I know. Well, it was just an idea. A friend of mine, Kevin, he's got his own recording studio that he built himself. It's called Sky Recording Studios. And so I just said, I was at the traffic light one day and I was pulled up in the car and this other car pulled up alongside. I looked across to him and he did to me and he shouted, Gibbo, you know, at the lights. And I shouted, Kevin. I said, have you still got your studio? And he goes, yeah. I said, can I come and record a song? So he said, oh, you can, anytime, you know, let me know. So it started from there. And then it became one song and then two songs and then three. And then it ended up as a full album. And it's all swing and jazz type music. And the whole idea when I originally wanted to do it is to help the NHS. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something to raise some money for the NHS. But everything else changed. And I ended up getting COVID. Like one of the first ones in March or April of that year. And so I was out of the game for a little while. But, you know, here I am, fighting fit. Back up the helm.
So let's have a listen. I genuinely don't know which track it is because I've not made a note, but we're going to enjoy it anyway.
Well, I hope so.
We really are going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, this is Silent Night.
No, it's just silent.
Did you hear us, Tony? Oh, he thinks it's done.
He's not having much luck tonight, is he?
No.
Is he always like this?
Is he not playing?
Not playing, no.
Not playing.
Not playing.
Oh dear. Let's try again.
Let's try again.
This is the wonders of technology.
It just failed again.
It's not.
There's an old burning inside to you.
Oh, we've done the skip there.
Whether near to me or far, it's no matter, darling, where you are. traffic boom. In the silence of my lonely room, I think of you. Day and night, night and day, under the height of me, there's an old hungry yearning burning inside of me. And its torment won't be through till you let me spend my life making love to you day and night, night and day.
Wow, Brian.
Wow.
Wow.
What a splendid voice. My goodness.
And
He's a
do
talent
you know,
there.
I'm going to make Brian blush now because, you know, I do this some weeks, but Brian is over 70 years of age. And
Yeah,
he's
he's
still
allowed
got
that.
an amazing voice, hasn't he?
80, Tony.
Yeah,
Well, I
definitely.
wasn't going to say that, you
Well,
see. I wasn't going to
I
say
never
that.
hide it. I never hide it.
Brian's 80, guys. Would
Fantastic.
not know, would you?
No,
Honestly.
what a terrific voice.
Brian, honestly, I mean, you absolutely nail it. I mean, my mum and dad grew up listening to music like that. And then obviously, you know, when Dave was young, the Beatles came along and changed everything. But music like that is,
I love it.
there's
I do
so
love
much passion in it.
Yeah.
You know, you've been out recently singing though, haven't you, Brian? Have you been out recently last few
Well, I
months?
have. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been for ages because of lockdown and just a couple of bars that I frequented. You know, it just said, you know, you want to get up, and I went, oh, okay then. And I said, well, I
You
haven't
went in
done
with
it for
your
over
umbrella
2
and had to
years.
sing Singing in the Rain the other day, didn't you?
Well, I went into a bar in Liverpool, in Willison Square, and it happened to have been raining. So I had my big brolly out, right? I had my hat and my trilby, and I had my black suit on, my white shirt, and all the waistcoat and all that. And so I got to this bar, and then I just dropped my umbrella down, and then I walked in. And as I walked in, the whole pub just started singing. Well, I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain, like that. Everyone in the pub. And I never realized it was for me. So I just kept on walking through the pub.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
all
put the brolly up and give it the twizz inside. Though.
Well, no, I pretended to do that actually, but because you're indoors, you don't do that. And it's only that I saw all the faces looking at me, and I stopped and I just said to everyone, "Is this for me?" And they all went, "Yeah," like that. And he carried on singing, and I was quite moved.
Yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful, beautiful.
And then I sat by myself, and then this lady came over, stroked my shoulder, took my hand, and said, "Come and sit with me."
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
that was so I did.
Hey, look, you know,
Wow.
Zoe and Paul have made a relationship. Brian's out on a Friday night meeting people. Dave, Karen, and I better get ourselves out quick.
Well, I was out yesterday. I went to that same pub yesterday, and I sang one song, and then these group of ladies said, "Oh, will you sing another one?" So I sang another one, and then I said, "Oh, I've got to go now."
It's lovely. It's lovely. I mean,
It's
I'm
nice
sure
to be asked.
Paul
It's lovely to be asked.
could do the same, and Dave could. You know, if you're in a
Absolutely.
bar or a pub and
Oh,
someone says,
absolutely.
"Oh, can anyone sing such and such?" It must feel so special to be able
Amount
to
of
go
free
to
nights
someone.
I've had, you know.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Dave, while we're on the theme of singing live, have you got anything else that you could give us this
Oh,
evening?
wow. How do I follow Brian's?
Oh,
Oh,
well,
hey, you can follow anytime. If you're in front of me, follow me. I'm right behind you.
I'll be the warm-up pack then. Oh, yeah.
No, don't be daft. My God.
Sorry. Hold on, that's my fault. Sorry, I was just trying to find another song to play in a minute. You carry on.
No, if you want to play that song
No.
first, just so prep up. I mean, it's
Okay, yeah, okay, we'll do that then. No, we'll do that. That's fair. Yeah. This is some of you may know. Myself and Andrew have been working for the last 6 months on a CD that we've been producing, based on the poetry writing of Ian D. Hall, a lovely, wonderful chap. And
Yes, indeed.
after 6 months
Certainly is.
of work, we've now got a 20-track CD, literally at the CD manufacturers this week, ready to hit the shelves well in a week or so. I'm going to play you Andrew's, I say song, it's not actually a song, it's a performance piece of something that Andy and Ian worked on based on a Tony Hancock sketch. It's called The Missing Page. And Tony Hancock had a famous sketch where everyone wants basically to know what happened at the end of a book.
Yes.
No one's got the book because the last chapter or the last page is always missing. And by the time they track the author down, the author's died. So how are you going to find out how the book ends? Well, Andy has worked it up, as you'll hear, into a wonderful 1950s American gumshoe detective noir. It's called The Missing Page. And this is from the Listening Out of Earshot CD in the shop or shops from, we hope, next Friday, certainly the week after.
Lady Vote fall backwards. My God, what a mess. As to who killed you, we can only guess. The shadows hide the killer, and could be anyone, I suppose. The missing page conceals the answer, but only Johnny Oxford knows. Since I picked up this book, my mind has been fried. Every combination of weapon suspects have been tried. Kept me awake at night. Round the room I paced. What hint was in that ad? You get sand kicked in your face. Johnny Oxford, private eye, the most handsome man by far. Martial arts, smooth talking, and drives a big American car. 25 killed, Walter over the typewriter. What is there to do? But all you are no typist, and still the NYPD haven't got a clue. Matchbook in a handbag, ginger hair on her skirt. Situation getting critical, more people getting hurt. Footprints in the snow. The small man forgot to use his own size boots and used two left-footed shoes. Frida Walhinsky lying dead, suffocated in his sleep. Jocelyn strangled with an islands and situs getting deep. Another had a deadly milkshake, part of an evil plan. At least we know the killer wasn't Harry Zinnemann. The search extends beyond the book to those who read it last. They've forgotten all the agonies and consigned them to the past. Went to see the author, he'd have the answer too. But Darcy Sardo's gone as well, we're no nearer to a clue. The British Library full of books, they had one there complete. Opened the dusty covers to reveal the tale replete. Found the novel unfinished, at least they spent the time to look for that elusive ending, but they hadn't solved the crime. Next time you read a murder mystery, ensure it's so complete, so that you have a great denouement on the edge of your seat. Ensure that you complete reading before you get your pension. Just don't expect it to be Charles Atlas with his intention.
So I hope you like that.
That was fantastic.
Very good.
It's
Very
good,
well
isn't
done.
it?
Love
And do you know
that.
that we were talking about it because he recorded it pretty much in one go. It was, written and performed in one take, really. Bar one run through without the music. The music was written as we were recording the song. The guy we worked with, Mark Sebastian de Lacy, fantastic. He basically played all of those instruments on a MIDI keyboard
That's just
interface.
brilliant.
Including, we originally started with saxophone and ended up with the trumpet. I don't know if you noticed.
I noticed.
Tone. Yeah.
I did.
As we were getting near the end, I'd said to them, what you need is the detective fella to light a cigarette, with the matches. Light a cigarette and take a deep breath and walk into the dark. So I had to run down the road to the local garage and say, do you sell real matches? Go running back to the studio just as they're recording it, hand them over to Andy, who luckily got two out of the box at once, and went, and it works.
Fantastic. Because as soon as I heard the beginning of that, I was back in the 40s.
Yeah.
Straight away with the piano, with the sax, and then the trumpet, and all of it. I was back there then.
Yeah, but like I say, it's been a labour of love. I mean, Ian, some of you, I think, bar Paul, I think you all know Ian. He's one of the loveliest fellas. He's an absolute superb writer. He runs a website called Liverpool Sound and Vision, and for 10 years he's basically reviewed theatre, film, live music, poetry, reviews tons of stuff. Writes his own stuff as well, but sort of hides it under a bushel, really. And over the last few years, he has released.
Not Holly. No,
that's Holly the artist. Yeah, no, Ian hides his light under a bushel.
Oh, yes.
So he's released three poetry books. He's just released the fourth one. He's written 2 detective novels and a brilliant James Herbert sort of creepy horror novel. And he's working on another one now. And he deserves people to read him. So if anyone's out there, all his books are listed on my website, Beyond Books, or just look him up on Facebook, have a chat with him, tell him which one you want. They're not all done on Audible yet, Paul, so you might have to wait a little while.
Oh, that's fine. I'm sure I can have a chat with him. I do have him on Facebook. So,
oh, good man. Do talk to him. He's genuinely one of the best writers that people haven't read, and you know, that
He is
He's pretty much the author equivalent of Stanley Kubrick in a way. You know, just
Wow.
yeah.
going to so many different genres of writing. You know, never sticks to the one theme for all of his work. It's amazing.
Particularly good at horror, I think.
oh, he's definitely into his horror vibe at the moment, isn't he? Yeah. He's-
Absolutely amazing. I mean, it's like you need to have your head checking not to read the books.
yeah, yeah. No, he's definitely up there with James Herbert, and you know, James Herbert's not been around for a while now, so we need somebody to write that dark, sinister, creepy, nasty, wonderful stuff, don't we? And talking of which, Dave's going to sing a happy song now.
Oh, you might have just changed your mind that with all that talk of you know, darkness and all that sort of thing.
So,
You're not gonna write your murder ballad, are you?
That one's still a work in progress. Still got to bury the corpse first.
Tony, when
Yeah.
you said before he's hiding it under the bushel, that's why I said not Holly.
Oh, I
hiding
know,
under
Holly the
bushel.
artist. Yeah.
No, Holly under Holly bushel. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
yes.
we haven't
Ready for
I haven't
that
seen-
day.
I haven't seen Holly for over a year now since
Oh, haven't you?
lockdown and whatever. Now she's a
Oh,
lovely
really?
girl, very talented, one of the
Yeah.
best picture book illustrators in the Northwest, and
Yeah.
you know, she was just starting to do well for herself a year ago, and like for everybody, I think this year's just been a terrible strain.
Yeah, it
Some
has,
people
for
have found
everyone.
it. I mean, have you found it easy to write, Zoe, in lockdown? Which or
I have, yeah, but I think a lot of that's come from the sort of like the whole sort of with moving and stuff like that. It's proved a very good distraction, and I've ended up doing more than I thought it would be a struggle, but I've not found it.
yeah, I mean, Karen, you're more the opposite, aren't you?
Yeah, I found it difficult, but I think that's just due to other reasons, and it is due to lockdown in part, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Brian never stops anyway. He's a 24/7 Duracell bunny, as Mr. Brian. Dave, what about you? Have you actually written anything in? I mean, we use the word lockdown. You know what I mean, don't you? Last year. Oh, Dave, are you okay?
Stopped halfway.
It did, didn't it? It just died off then. Have you managed to keep writing, or have you found it hard?
I've a bit of both. Really, it really depends on with the way the year's been. It's like sometimes the inspiration comes along, but it can sometimes come from a bit of a dark place, and I sometimes find myself questioning, is this really such a good thing to write about? Because sometimes I'm a little bit wary of where I might take it, and it's not necessarily always a good place. So sometimes I'm a little bit cautious, shall we say, to put it the best way possible.
So is this an old piece or a relatively new piece then?
Well, the one I played before was actually the first song I ever wrote, and this is actually the second.
So we're going way back to your formative years, 6 or 7 years ago, when you were brave enough to think, my words matter. I'm gonna make them mean something.
Well, I mean, this one's not dark. This one's not. Well,
we definitely need cheering up after all the talk.
It's
mutilated bodies and such like.
It's hopefully a bit more uplifting after all the talk of horror and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Many times in my life, things don't go my way. It drives me completely mad. But even when I'm low, I know you'll be there to show me things are not so bad. In times of frustration, I know it will be okay. You help me to stand tall again with the words that you say. Put things in perspective, make it all so clear. Help me find my inner strength, face the things that I fear. You'll never know what a help you are to me. I'll never know without you where I would be. We'll never know what lies ahead, let's see. But you'll never know what a friend you've been to me. Can't only say I'm grateful, don't feel that it's enough. You always save me from myself on days where I feel too rough. If you need me, then I'll be there. If you don't feel too good, to aid you when you are in need. For me, I know that you would. You'll never know what a help you are to me. I'll never know without you where I would be. You'll never know what lies ahead, let's see. But you'll never know what a friend you've been to me. You've always been the one to show that you care. Never letting go, even if you don't know the answer, you'll always be there. You'll never know what a help you are to me. I'll never know without you where I would be. We'll never know what lies ahead, let's see. But you'll never know what a friend you've been to me.
Good.
Lovely, Dave. It's
Beautiful.
such a lovely, simple but meaningful song. It's lovely.
It is.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Paul,
Thank you.
I hope you liked. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I did. Did you play that a while ago as well, Dave?
I might have done, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, I
because
think you played it back 3-4 weeks ago, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I was sort of singing along with it then because I was becoming familiar with it, so it was lovely.
It's a
Thank
bit.
you.
It's a bit like the Toy Story song "You've Got a Friend in Me," isn't it? It's got that
It
sort of
is.
vibe, you know.
Yeah.
Both
it's more ballady like than that, yeah. But
Yeah, but it's got that sort of vibe to it, hasn't it? You know, that's which is Randy Newman, isn't it? The Toy Story song, I think.
I'm not sure.
I think it is. Think so. Yeah.
And,
Paul,
yeah, Newman, yeah.
without putting you totally on the spot, have you got another folk ballad of in your in your?
Well, we might as well because now I wonder. I think there might be somebody on here. There's a certain somebody here this evening who rather likes the song that I'm going to sing because you want me to sing it later anyway.
Oh.
And I wouldn't like to give you the wrong impression of myself, but this is not what I do on every night of the week. Now, this song has 7 verses, but I can only sing 5 of them.
Okay. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, because only 5 were ever recorded.
Oh.
In fact, when it was first brought out, it was banned on the radio.
Oh, that sounds good. We like the sound of it already.
Well, you're all going to know it, but I'm not giving it away because it's too easy, and you'll all know it.
Okay.
And, this was actually banned by the Catholic Church in Irish. It's an Irish song.
Yeah.
And a very well-known group had a Top of the Pops hit with it in 1967. And this was a group of 4 bearded men. And I think that's quite important. I'm not bearded, as you can see tonight.
No,
I've
not
shaved.
at this moment in time.
Especially, no, it might be by the time I finish singing this.
Dave's halfway through one.
But I think somebody might enjoy this. So here we go.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
Oh, as I went home on a Monday night, as drunk could be, I saw a horse outside the door where my old horse should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns that horse outside the door where my old horse should be? Ah, you drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see. That's a lovely sow that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles or more, but a saddle on a sow, sure I never saw before. And as I went home on a Tuesday night, as drunk could be, I saw a coat behind the door where my old coat should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns that coat behind the door where my old coat should be? Ah, you drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see. That's a woolen blanket that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles or more, but buttons in a blanket, sure I never saw before. And as I went home on a Wednesday night, as drunk could be, I saw a pipe upon the chair where my old pipe should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns that pipe upon the chair where my old pipe should be? Ah, you drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see. That's a lovely tin whistle that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles or more, but tobacco in a tin whistle, sure I never saw before. And as I went home on a Thursday night, as drunk could be, I saw two boots beneath the bed where my old boots should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns them boots beneath the bed where my old boots should be? Ah, you drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see. They're two lovely geranium pots me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles or more, but laces in geranium pots me never saw before. And as I went home on a Friday night, as drunk could be, I saw a head upon the bed where my old head should be. Well, I called me wife and I said to her, will you kindly tell to me who owns that head with you in the bed where my old head should be? Ah, you drunk, you silly old fool, still you cannot see. That's a baby boy that me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles or more, but a baby boy with his whiskers on, shall I never saw before.
Hey.
Brilliant.
Of course, you all knew it was the Seven Drunken Knights.
Ah, brilliant. You forget how wonderfully expressive songwriting was, 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah.
It tells stories in such a clever way. Because I mean that's a whole novel in 3 minutes, isn't it? Basically.
It is, yeah. It is.
It
You
still
could-
happens even today, though,
Oh.
but it's a lot more underground now.
Yeah.
The use of storytelling and songwriting.
It's a shame, isn't it? Because I think there's a lot of great music of all types, but a lot of it is it's done by the sound and not by the words. A lot of times these days, there's a lot of music that it sounds good, but you don't know what they're singing. With a song like that, you can hear and understand
Absolutely.
every
It's got
word
meaning.
that's sung, can't you, Zoe? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's actually got meaning. With some songs, just rubbish.
But there was a particular bit of that song you particularly liked, wasn't there? Which tell people which bit it was that you liked, especially the notion of.
I think for me, it's probably got to be the boots.
I thought you said it was the last verse. You're
About
imagining
the head.
the baby with his whiskers.
It
Whiskers.
was, but then I don't know. It's kind of it shifts a little bit. I think the last verse, I think it's more taken on a creepy effect. A little bit odd, whereas the flower pot, you can cope with that.
Good job. I can't tell you what happened on Saturday or Sunday night, but that's the difference.
Have you got the lyrics for Saturday and Sunday then, Paul?
No, I've only got it. They do the Dubliners do a live performance.
Yeah.
And they get as far as Saturday, and then they play the Greek Zorba.
Oh
to
yeah.
finish it off. So they finish it off like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been done for years. And as I say, Sergio Haney, who gave them that, Sergio Haney, Joe Heaney was his name. He was what they call a sean-nós singer, a traditional singer from the west of Ireland. And he gave them that song, which I said he'd had as a success on Radio Éireann, as it was, RTE radio, in the 40s. And it was banned in Irish. And then the Dubliners sort of resurrected it and got it on top of the pops. And the English just said, yeah, we'll have this one. We like this.
Yeah. No, it is funny what gets banned and why, isn't it, really? It's,
well, you're going back to hospital radio. True story. There used to be, anybody who's ever worked in hospital radio may tell you that certainly when I started 25 years ago, there was a book, inches thick, and in it, it had a list of all the songs you couldn't play on hospital radio.
Really?
Wow. And it actually includes some fairly ones that you might think, well, why that one? You couldn't for one time play My Way, and it's the most requested song on hospital radio around the world almost, because of that opening line. And now the end is near. You can't play songs like The First Cut Is the Deepest, or you couldn't. You couldn't play songs like Burn Baby Burn, or We Didn't Start the Fire, or all these sorts of things. Now I do think they've relaxed it a little bit these days, but there was this huge book of songs that you couldn't play on hospital radio.
So I mean, you can't play things like. Every time someone would request a song, you or the producer would have to suddenly flick through the allowed and not allowed book. It's brilliant.
Well, that's why they have to go around the wards. I mean, to this day, you can't play songs like Honey from Bobby Goldsboro. You can't play. I think Twinkle did one called Terry, about a guy killed himself on a motorbike or something like that. Seasons in the Sun. You can't.
Oh yeah, play. Yeah.
For
what a living! We had joy, we had fun, and it moves on into dark desperation.
Oh my gracious!
Yeah, but I'm going to cheer everyone up now. Not that we're not cheered up anyway, but I'm going to play you another track from the Listening Out of Earshot album. This is technically the single. It has already had some airplay. It's 3 of the artists on the CD all chose the same poem of Ian's called Facial Expressions, which he wrote. It's almost the first poem he wrote in 1990. So it's a really old poem of his that came out in his first book, Black Book. But 3 different artists all chose this piece, but they all did it in very different ways. This is the very wonderful Two Black Sheep.
In a tear, a lifetime sadness is shown. In a tear, all manners of images are exposed. In a tear, life can end. In a tear, broken hearts mend. In a smile, friends become lovers. In a smile, true feelings uncover. In a smile, people fall for strangers. In a smile, we face the greatest dangers. In a laugh, heroes stand tall. In a laugh, comedians hear the audience call. In a laugh, there is unity in a nation. In a laugh lies love's greatest potion. In a kiss, lovers unite as one. In a kiss, romanced by the setting sun. In a kiss, children are made. In all emotions, our souls are saved.
I hope you
Fabulous.
like that.
That's great.
That was fabulous, Dan.
Isn't that just lovely?
Yeah,
Touch of the
well
Robbie
done,
Williams in
Andrew.
here.
I mean,
Well done, Andrew.
it's seriously lovely, isn't it? I mean, you just, I
And
mean,
Ian.
we've had that played a couple of times on a couple of local stations, but we have
And
sent
then-
it to BBC Introducing for Radio 6, but you've just got to hope, haven't you, that someone has some ears when they listen.
Touch of Robbie Williams in that voice.
He's it's a guy called Ian Davis is the male singer. Normally it would be a duet. The lady playing the violin is Amy Chalmers, who worked on the John Jenkins CD. And her and Ian are the main singer-songwriters in Two Black Sheep. But because of the lockdown or whatever, she recorded her string parts at home, sent them to Ian, and he played guitar and sang to her backing track. So they didn't actually record it in one place, which must be quite a strange thing. I mean, have you done that, Dave? Had to record on your own and then send your bit to your band or your co-artist?
When I've had people helping out, yes, there's a saying, when a dare you'll never know. I mean, I had to use a simple drum loop on the software they use because I can't play drums myself, but I knew that I always prefer the human element of drumming rather than, drum machines for most cases. So I always felt that there needed to be more than just what I could do in the song in order to be for it to be pulled off. And one of the people who helped me out, his name's Brendan Marsh. He's a great violin player. Now, I never envisioned a violin in the song originally, but he just put this wonderful solo in, and I was just blown away. Just like, absolutely wonderful stuff. And I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Isn't that nice when someone can hear what you've written and what you've put together as a song in motion, a demo, whatever you'd call it, and they can come along and go, it's all great, but what about if we do this? I mean, that must be. I mean, you must do that with other people you work with as well. It must be such a great feeling to collaborate like that.
It can be, because it's both fun and it's also a challenge, because sometimes it can take you out of the comfort zone that you're usually in when you do music for yourself. And when you're out of that, then you've got to think, well, what will potentially work with this song that you know? And sometimes it works. Sometimes the person will say, "Yeah, can this bit be changed?" And sometimes you learn things along the way. I mean, we're taught music at the beginning, but part of the learning is just actually doing it.
I mean, Paul, do you play an instrument, or are you just I say just a singer? That's a terrible thing to say. You're just someone blessed with a great singing voice.
I play the fool. No,
That's a great instrument. I like that
yeah,
instrument. I've
play
been
the fool.
practicing
Yes,
for
good at
years.
that. No, I gave up. This might interest people. I did start to learn a guitar, but being a reader of Braille, you can't really play guitar because the sensitivity in your fingers.
Of course.
When your finger ends, you need your finger ends to read Braille.
Yeah, of course you do.
Unless you're clever enough to do sight reading, which some people do. So I gave it up because I used to have a guitar that had strings like cheese cutters on it. It was an unbelievable thing. So no, I don't tend to. I leave that to other people.
Have you ever tried the piano then? Because I mean,
I did. I did that, but the pianos are quite a lonely instrument. Really, if you think about a piano, everybody plays a piano in a band, and it doesn't really. There's not that much room. You're either providing a rhythmic accompaniment, unless you're doing jazz piano.
Yeah,
you're either providing a rhythmic accompaniment, or it's actually quite a struggle. If you're doing a sonata or you're doing classical pieces, you've got to put so much into it. It's a very strange instrument to try and learn, and there's more of it than you.
Yeah. Also, I mean, lugging one on the bus after a gig.
Oh my gracious, it's nightmare.
Pretty heavy real pianos.
Yeah, oof.
It's not impossible though, because there used to be a busker I haven't seen for an awful long time, who used to busk in the middle of town, who was blind.
With a real piano,
No, with an electric guitar. And
yes, you can. No, it's not impossible. No, you're quite right.
And he sounded amazing.
He was.
Yeah, and
he played for years and years, that guy.
Yeah.
He used to sit outside Primark before Primark was even there, when it was Littlewood. Yeah, so I've seen him many years, many times.
Yeah.
And that's down to personal preference, I guess.
Too right it is. Anyway, guys, listen, we've got about 5 more minutes, so we're just going to quickly go round, and then I'm going to finish with a fabulous song by another local duo called Visions of Albion. So Zoe, just we've got 5 minutes or so. Have you got another piece that you might like to share with us?
Yeah.
We should have prepared better, shouldn't we, really? Oh, just so you know, next Monday we are doing a guest interview with a very well-known children's author called Joseph Delaney, who writes books set in Lancashire, but the dark past, scary Lancashire.
Ooh, sounds good.
About ghosts and buggers.
Lancashire was scary every day.
The Lancashire witches.
Well, Lancashire, the War of the Roses. There's already a dark past there.
Yeah. So we've actually got a guest next week, Joseph Delaney. But hopefully, some of you or all of you will join me and be part of the little event and maybe ask a question or two. But Zoe, now you've had a chance to go and delve into the archive.
Yes. I would say this is probably more sort of a rare one, really, as in it's happy.
Cool. We like the sound of it already.
I hope I'm not building up too much. A moment of pure euphoria, of darkness melting, doubt whimpering, as hope once more rises and sun winks. The gathering once more of friends, a reminder that together we are stronger. Together, barrows full of kits into long grass. Together it was shown it has no right to remain.
Lovely.
Yeah.
One of eternal optimism, I think.
I think
yes, absolutely.
But we need that, Paul, don't we? And whatever
we do. Well, I got lucky because I've already heard it.
Well, this is the nice thing about being able to talk to people off air, you see. Brian, I can see you wafting a bit of paper in the general vicinity of
of me.
Have you blown your nose, or is it? Oh, no.
Oh, I've already done that. I've blown my nose. I've all sorted, man.
Oh, gracious sound.
Right. Okay, here's one.
Is this a new one or one you've been working
A
on?
new
Brian?
one. A new
A
one.
new
Well,
one.
I've got two little ones. So if you want,
Yeah,
Anyway.
please do. Please do.
totally different. Okay. I didn't mean to fall in love with you. I do apologize. Because that first day I met you, I just fell into your eyes. You came along and you stole my heart. You took it away and I fell apart. You didn't know that my heart stood still when I saw you in the street. And you didn't know that the scent of you just sweeps me off my feet. The sun shone from your lovely face and the stars fell from your eyes. You found your place inside my heart and took me by surprise. Your magic smile made me dissolve. From that moment, I was gone. Your smile just made me melt away like it did on that lovely summer's day. And that's that one.
Oh,
Beautiful.
That's
Brian.
lovely.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Brian is a total romantic. It's
My
it's
word.
a
Oh, I
lovely
am.
thing.
I am.
It's a lovely thing. Are you still a romantic then?
He's thinking about it.
He's thinking about it.
Sorry, was that to me? I didn't.
That was to
Are
you,
you,
yeah.
are you still a romantic, or have you given up? I've given up.
It depends on the day of the week, really. I find.
Maybe we should get together and write something. You know, we could be.
I-
We could really,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right, shall I read this other one?
please do. Please do.
But it's not the same. What the hell just happened there? I don't know where to start. Is there no one left that I can trust? We're all just miles apart. Is there anyone left out there, true to the word, who does not say that they will say or leaves what they've promised to do another day? It's hard to see who's genuine now, beneath deceit and lies. Sometimes you have to look at them because the truth is in their eyes. That's it.
Oh,
That's
well
very
done.
relevant to today. That Brian.
That's
That's
No,
good.
it is
Brian.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
It is
well.
absolutely.
I hope you're not. I hope you are keeping all of these somewhere safe, because you always lose things that you're producing.
I write them on. I write them on bits of paper. Sometimes I'm on air with you,
I know.
but it's just
We're
what.
gonna have to buy you one of them Philo boxes. You know, them boxes you can close the lid down. And
Well, my
Look it
daughter's
up.
by me. Francesca bought me a lovely little book last week.
Yeah.
And she called it a gentleman's notebook. Yeah,
Oh,
you
very
see.
nice.
Oh,
very
nice.
A gentleman's notebook. She's
But
got
you
it
are a
called.
gentleman, Brian. Now you are.
Well,
You are a genuine gentleman. So,
thank
Callum, if
you.
you don't have to read anything or perform anything, but you know, do give us your parting grace.
My
That's your daughter, isn't it?
yes, my daughter is Grace. My parting Grace. Oh, I don't know what to say, Tony. You've
Oh,
I
Anything
hope
is
everyone
fine.
has I hope everyone has a good week and
thank you.
plenty of creativity ensues.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
And
Thank you.
Paul, thank you ever so much for joining in tonight. Hopefully we'll
My
have you with
pleasure.
us in future weeks. You're
Oh
welcome
yes,
anytime.
yes. I'll be as regular as clockwork.
Oh,
As
brilliant.
regular.
No, it's nice. We're building up a nice little group of people that,
Well, you've
you know-
really got Zoe to thank, because if it wasn't for Zoe, I wouldn't know about it.
oh, well,
So
indeed, 100% thank you, Zoe. And this is what friends are for, isn't it? They're about reaching out and saying, I've got a friend who can do something, and I'll introduce you to them. And that's what we need. We need people we know to become friends with each and every one of us in a way. But Paul, you're singing honestly, to do it off the cuff on the spot, and you've got a great voice.
Well, I have to memorize it, of course. I'm not reading.
I
the
know.
script, so
Well,
anything like
I
that.
mean, I'm always in awe. I mean, I used to be able to do it years ago. I can't sing, but I used to, recite poetry. But if you don't keep doing it, it goes. I mean, I used to do the Pied Piper of Hamelin, which is a long piece.
Wow.
The Robert Browning, Hamlin
yes.
Towns in Brunswick, by famous Hanover City. The River Weiser, deep and wide, washes its walls by the southern side, a pleasanter spot you've never spied. And so begins my ditty. Now, I used to know all of it, but I would have to work really, really hard.
It's a good job we didn't do the Ancient Mariner, isn't it?
Oh, indeed, yeah. Whereas Dave can, remember lyrics he wrote 7 years ago. You can remember stuff written in 1948.
Well, maybe Tony next time or sometime you can start doing little parts of.
Oh, I do write stuff, and I do intend to. It's not just being the one who has to sort of bob between everyone and hold it together. I've got lazy, Brian, as I've got old. I'm 55 in a couple of weeks.
You're not
Yeah.
old.
No.
55 on the 20th of July.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Luckily, it's a
and-
Tuesday. Luckily, it's a
it's
Tuesday.
all in your head, Tony. It's all in your head.
It used to be.
It's all in your head.
Anyway, guys, listen. I'm gonna play one last song for us all. This is Visions of Albion, who are.
As the darkness falls, the mountain calls me straight back to you. And though it may not appear to me, it's pretty clear that you still have feelings too. As the leaves start to fall, I hear the echo calling, sounding oh so sweet. Your mesmerizing song got me singing along. Is this what happiness is? How my heart beat as fast every time that we dance under the diamond skies. And I feel your touch, and it's just enough to know that this is real. To know that this is real. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah.
The trees take their roots right in through your boots that you left behind the kitchen door. Well, I can't explain how these feelings remain with me for so long. You gave me one chance, set me into a trance that I can't come back from. And my heart beats fast as we dance under the night's diamond skies. I feel your touch, and it's just enough to know that this is real. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, Darkness falls over us, and
Samantha
Wow.
and Dan, Visions of Albion. Is that not just
Wow, that
wonderful?
is stunning.
Stunning, isn't it?
Brilliant.
They
Yeah.
are, I mean, they're only young. I mean, I had them do a live session for me on the radio about 4 years ago. So, I mean, they're only 22, 23. They were still at university, like when I had them. A friend of mine, Siobhan Sibbs, as she likes to be called, used to co-host with me on HCR every other Sunday. And she'd often say, "Oh, can my friends come and sing some songs on the radio?" And I'd always say, "Yeah, of course they can." And Dan and Samantha came in one Sunday, did 4 or 5 songs, mainly covers back then. They write their own stuff now. And I mean, even then, you could tell she's got the most gorgeous
Brilliant,
voice.
brilliant
And she's
voice.
what, 22, 23? I mean, Paul, I will. Are you okay if I send you some stuff by
Yeah, fine.
transfer?
Yeah, we can sort
And
that
then
out.
you
Time.
can have a
Yeah.
listen at leisure. And
Yeah,
you know, if you're able to get
she sounds like
anything
Joni
playing-
Mitchell.
It is,
Sounds
isn't
like
it?
Joni Mitchell.
Yeah, very much so. She's just the loveliest girl, and she's got an absolutely amazing voice. But the close harmonies she does with Dan
Yeah,
are,
yeah, really
are
good work.
superb. They really are. And you know, well, we all need a lift in life, but anyone young who can do something, whether they can draw, sing, write, perform, we need to give them every opportunity. We need
Yeah.
people to
Absolutely.
Yeah,
have the chance to
agree.
be the person they are and to do what they're good at. You know,
Do you remember?
anyway, sorry, Brian, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember when I brought my little cousin, my
Your-
cousin's daughter, and she sang Hallelujah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she just. I don't think she plays
And your
piano as well
grandson
now.
came and sang live for me on the radio, didn't
Harry
he?
did, yeah, he did. He's got no inhibitions, Harry. He's probably listening now. He's probably watching
Well,
the
I hope he
program.
is. I hope he
Yeah,
is.
because I
But
think
he-
he tuned in now and then.
He came in one Sunday and sang live, didn't he? Anyway, guys, listen, I'm going to stop us recording, which is the good news. You can now all swear